Hello everyone, and welcome to this month's episode of Folk-a-Dilly Tales. We are here to tell you some crazy stories, some true tales, some legends from the past, some amazing poems accompanied by some fantastic songs. I am Richard Tree, and I am your host. This week, the Lowestoft Fisherman's Tale. It was a time in Lowestoft when the fishing industry was at its peak. A time when it was possible to cross the harbour by walking from boat to boat. The air smelled of salt, coal, and fish guts. The men were hard and quick-tempered. You had to be. Work like that, gutting cod and herring from dawn till dusk, left hands calloused and patience thin. Every man carried a blade, sharp enough to open a fish in one clean pull. Always a worry for the police at that time, who often had to break up fights. One grey morning, as the boats were coming in, a bell was heard tolling slowly from Christchurch. "Who's that for?" someone asked. Old Ned spat into the water. "Billy Harrow. Found him laid out last night at Lighthouse Score, throat open from ear to ear." A silence fell over the deck. Billy had been one of them, drank with them, worked beside them. "Who did it?" growled Jack Marser, gripping the handle of his gutting knife just a little bit tighter. Ned shook his head. "No one saw. Folks is saying it's that same devil that's been taking men up and down the coast. Some bloke calling himself Death. No face, no trace, just bodies." That was enough. Jack, along with Alfie Briggs and young Tom Lark, swore then and there they'd find whoever, or whatever, this Death was, and settle it right proper. Well, they searched the docks, the scores, the alleys, the pubs where men whispered more than they spoke. By late afternoon, they came upon a strange sight near the edge of the town. An old fisherman, older than the boats themselves by the look of him, was sitting on an overturned crate, staring out to sea. Jack stepped forward. "Hey, you've been around long enough to know how things are. You heard of this bloke who calls himself Death?" The old man gave a dry laugh. "Heard of him? Someone said he's up that north end of Lowestoft." Alfie scoffed. "Where do we find him?" The old man lifted a shaking hand and pointed north. "There's a big oak tree in Gunton Woods. Try there. But mark me. Turn back while you still can." They didn't listen. They rushed straightway to Gunton Woods and the big oak tree. And there, beneath the tree, not a man, not a killer, but a fish crate, split open. And inside, spilling out into the roots and the mud, was a fortune. Gold coins, more than any fisherman in Lowestoft could see in 10 lifetimes. Tom let out a low breath. We don't need to work or fish again." Billy Harrow was forgotten in an instant. They decided to wait until nightfall. Carrying that much gold through the town in daylight, they'd be accused of theft before they made it even 10 steps. So they drew lots. Tom, the youngest, he got the short stick. "Head back," he said, "Jack. Bring us food and something to drink and a cart. We'll keep watch." Tom nodded and set off. The moment he was gone, Alfie leaned close. "Why split it 3 ways?" Jack didn't hesitate. "We don't." They both knew what that meant. Meanwhile, young Tom wasn't quite as soft as they thought. Back in town, his mind started turning. All that gold. Why should I share it at all? He stopped at a chemist shop with the excuse of needing some rat poison and came out shortly afterwards with a small packet of arsenic which he tucked under his coat. Tom carefully tipped the white crystalline powder into the beer he had bought from the other lads, mixing the bottles gently from side to side until the crystals completely dissolved. By the time Tom returned, the wind had picked up, rattling the oak branches above. "Got your supper," he said, setting down the bread and the beer bottles. He barely had time to straighten before Jack and Alfie were upon him. Knives flashed, the same knives they used every day to gut fish. Quick, efficient. Tom hit the ground without a word, and Jack wiped his blade on Tom's coat. "That's that then." Huh. They sat beneath the tree, gold at their feet, and opened the bottles. "Here's to better days," Alfie muttered, taking a long swig. And Jack followed. For a moment, all was quiet, except for the wind, and then Alfie coughed hard. "Jack!" But Jack was already doubling over, the bottles slipping from his grasp. They collapsed in the mud beside the gold, gasping and choking, their strength draining fast and cruel. By the time the tide had turned, 3 bodies lay beneath the oak. And the old fisherman, back on the quay, allowed himself a crooked smile. He knew that they had found exactly what they were looking for.
Blow the men down. In Lowestoft port, when the herring ran high, you could walk across the water and forever stay dry. From boat unto boat, for to reach the far side, with the smell of the salt and the turn of the tide. The men they were hard, and their tempers were short, with a blade in the belt and a bottle of port. Billy Harrow was found on the lighthouse score steps, with a gutting knife lodged in the side of his neck. Blow, blow, blow the men down. When death comes a-calling, he'll blow the men down. Young Tom and Big Alfie and Jack Mercer too, they swore their revenge for what the devil did do. They met an old salt by the edge of the quay, who pointed his finger away from the sea. In Gunton's dark woods, 'neath the great oaken tree, is the death that you're seeking. Just go there and see. But mark well my words, and he gave a dry grin. Turn back while you can from the shadow of sin. Blow, blow, blow the men down. When death comes a-calling, he'll blow the men down. They found not a monster, they found not a ghost, but a crate full of gold, from a faraway coast. Poor Billy forgotten, their blood it ran cold, as their hearts turned to ice at the sight of the gold. They sent young Tom Lark for the bread and the beer, while Jack and old Alfie stayed hovering near. "Why split it in three?" whispered Jack with a wink, as Tom walked to town for to fetch them a drink. Blow, blow, blow the men down. When death comes a-calling, he'll blow the men down. Young Tom bought some poison to settle the score, for he wanted the gold and he wanted much more. But when he returned with the beer and the bread, the knives of his comrades, they painted him red. They laughed as he died and then sat on the ground, and they toasted their luck at the treasure they'd found. They drank down the arsenic and gasped their last breath, and they fell in the mud in the clutches of death. Blow, blow, blow the men down. When death comes a-calling, he'll blow the men down. Now 3 bodies rot 'neath the Gunton oak tree, and the old man still sits by the edge of the sea. He beckons the young as they wander the sand, to lead them to death with a wave of his hand. Blow, blow, blow the men down. When death comes a-calling, he'll blow the men down.
In Lowestoft port, when the herring ran high, you could walk across the water and forever stay dry. From boat unto boat, for to reach the far side, with the smell of the salt and the turn of the tide. The men, they were hot, and their tempers were short, with a blade in the belt and a bottle of port. Billy Harrow was found on the lighthouse score steps, with a gutting knife lodged in the side of his neck. Blow, blow, blow the men down. When death comes a-calling, he'll blow the men down. Blow, blow, blow the men down. When death comes a-calling, he'll blow the men down.
And next month, I will be telling you the unbelievable but true story of the man who talked too much.
Him down and watched him fall there, each for blade and sword. They made him short, they made him small to hide him from the law. They wedged him tight within the cask, his flintlock bound with coal. A cold and evil final task before his woe would fall. He was a headless, legless, harmless body bobbing at the bottom of the well.
Folk-a-Dilly Tales is a Zingaro Blue production. It was written, edited and produced by Lesley and Mario Price and mixed by Frank Erlenkämper. The poems, lyrics and songs are also written by Mario and Lesley Price. My name is Richard Tree and I have been your host. Today's poem was read by Mario Price. The contents of this podcast are based on the book Folk Stories, Legends and Poems by Mario and Lesley Price and are available as a book and an e-book from Amazon under the name Folk Stories, Legends and Poems. The music can be found under the same name and, as Volumes 1 and 2 are now streaming on all major platforms. Today's background music was supplied by Scott Buckley, and you can find a link to these compositions in the comments below. Be sure to check out our music videos that tell some of our stories, available on YouTube. For more information on Zingaro Blue, please visit our website at zingaroblue.co.uk or find additional links in the comments section. If you have enjoyed this podcast, please hit the follow button so that you can listen to the next exciting episode of Folk-a-Dilly Tales.